My husband traumatized me after he said that he was imagining my hot cousin while being intimate with me. Now he's accusing me of destroying our marriage because I refused to accept his sorry. I was happily married, with 2 kids with my husband. We went to my female cousin's wedding this summer and my husband drinks socially for weddings and large gatherings, so this is not the norm for him. He drank so much at the wedding though it's not an excuse. After the wedding we went back to the hotel and started having intimacy. Immediately when he went inside me he started saying, "Your cousin is so hot I'm going to F you," like I'm sleeping with her. I literally went numb. I could not enjoy the intimacy and he literally gave me the best intimacy of our entire marriage, but I was dead inside. The next day he didn't remember anything. I mentioned it to him a few days later because we have had intimacy pretty much every single day for the past 7 years being married. I could not stomach sleeping with him and he knew something was wrong because we're very affectionate. I told him I couldn't look at him the same. He said sorry. Apparently he wasn't that drunk to remember what he said. I haven't told anyone, but every day I fantasize of straight up leaving him, and when I have intimacy with him I completely blank out and pretend it's not him. It's been a few months and I haven't told him. Other than this, he's my dream husband and I'm so torn if I should divorce. Update 2. My husband hugged me and didn't initiate intimacy for the first time and kissed me and said, "I know something is not okay with you and I'm praying for you and it hurts to see you in pain." Didn't make me feel better, seriously feel the same inside. Going to talk to him tonight. Also to counseling this week with him and stop having intimacy until I feel safe and forgive him. I need to heal. I'm a hot girl spiraling. Update 2. I spoke with my husband, it did not go well. I'm completely blindsided. He was very remorseful about the first situation. He is so sorry that it hurts me to this day, but totally gaslit me and thinks I'm immature and needs to move on. I've said hurtful stuff and doesn't matter the depth of the subject, that all hurts are equal. Then he starts crying about how sorry he is and that it pains him how he hurt me and wants our marriage to be restored. He completely diminished my feelings when I shared more after that and acted like I needed to get over it. It gets worse. He proceeds to tell me what I already know, that of course, it's normal to find other people more attractive. He thinks I'm very beautiful, but he actually thinks like this a lot, and though he tries to enjoy making love with me. Yes, he sometimes thinks of other women he's effed in college, my friends, my cousins, and occasionally corn girls he saw online prior to marriage. He knows it's wrong and is a man working on his sinful desires. His words, those are his intrusive thoughts he needs to battle against to make sure he loves me better and makes me feel desired. Thank you for cutting the knife deeper and extending the list. Whoa, gut-wrenching. I'm shaking typing this. He wants to get help for our marriage and is willing to go to counseling. Only it's done through our church. No doubt there is a lot of work in those sessions, but I feel like it's a scapegoat for him. He doesn't think the counseling needs to be centered around this topic but more of my resentment and unforgiveness issues. He thinks I'm the problem and had no issues vocalizing that I need a lot of healing. Not from him, well, that I'm basically crazy. He also mentioned maybe my issue stems from not having a good dad in my life. I'm sorry, but I was not thinking about my father while you effed me pretending it was my cousin. I bring up the intimacy. I told him I felt uncomfortable and numb. I think it's highly disturbing he injures me to find my hole, then inserts his dick in me while I'm sleeping, and that more than 20 plus times. I either accept it and just lay there with my eyes closed, or I'm awake to enjoy the pleasure, and he will continue till he comes from dodgy position, every time, then rolls over and snoozes. He says sorry, I will never do that again since it makes me uncomfortable. He thought it was consensual since it's been happening like that all summer. I said well, I have been unwell mentally and didn't voice it. He then says he finds it offensive and disturbing I called it rope and that he is not dominating and I need help for using those words. He thinks we should separate and doesn't want to talk to me. He thinks it's better we don't talk because he doesn't like fighting and my mean words and accusations. He said he's willing to make it work if I seek help from the church and go to counseling. That I'm the one with serious issues because he already said sorry the one time. I got very angry and called him a fucking asshole and was yelling at him and crying. He walked out of the room and said he was not dealing with me. I followed him and he said it's best we don't talk unless it's in front of a counselor and told me to get away from him. He said when we didn't have intimacy last night he was concerned how I looked and that he prayed for me. He's concerned I need help. Suggested I read my Bible, go for a walk, and learn to forgive quickly because the hate in my heart is really unattractive. He also suggested we try for a baby this month because he wants more kids, so to forgive him soon so we don't miss that opportunity. Then proceeds to stonewall me. He is completely offended that I don't think he loves me or cares for me, that he's human and makes mistakes. I need to get over it immediately that I am destroying our marriage and intimacy. Update, yes, I'm getting a lawyer and seeking a psychologist tomorrow. By the way, staying in my guest bedroom locked. No worries, he is treating me like I do not exist. It's disturbing but the isolation is necessary.